let's see if the freaking car starts. Come on, give me good news. Nothing. Nothing. What's going on, guys, and welcome back to the channel. This is exactly what I don't want to be filming right now after our last video is literally us getting the Accord back on the road, quote unquote, finished. Well, as we can see here, it's back. And there is some coolant dribbly drops. Thankfully, there's nothing from the timing side, but we are getting a loss of coolant from somewhere, which I assumed to be the lower rad hose connection. But now there's a bit of coolant on in between these radiator fans, and the top of the rad's not wet, the core is not wet. I don't know where that would be coming from, but that just means that we have to pull this thing in here, jack it up, take the splash tray off, and take a closer look at everything, because the only thing I did with the cooling system is a thermostat, which isn't leaking, and an upper and lower hose. I really didn't do much to the dang radiator, and I got this car finished Friday night of last week and drove it all night on Friday, drove it all day on Saturday, drove it all day on Sunday, and then took it to work Monday through Friday. And getting off work on Friday, we noticed a puddle under the ground, and now it's Saturday and we are back at the shop. So it went an entire week absolutely perfect. And now she's back here with a damn coolant leak. So let's get this thing pulled in, let's get it jacked up, and let's see what the actual hell is going on, because I am not particularly stoked that we are back here with the Accord after one short week and all this work that has just gone into it. So if you can't tell, vibes are a little bit low, but understandably so. So let's get this sucker pulled up in here and see what the hell's going on. All right, well, just as I suspected, looks like our lower hose is indeed the culprit. And as you can see, we're not quite butted up against where we need to be. So I'm gonna try and loosen it and slide this thing on a little bit more. Tighten it down real tight because it's still tight, but we got some drips here. But I did just have to fill the overflow and I missed a bit. So it could just be residual from that. Either way, I'm gonna go ahead and clean up all the drips that I can visually see. Loosen this, try and slide the hose on more, tighten it real good, and then we're gonna fire it up and see if we can see anything visually. Okay, a little bit of a new revelation here. This cap and this overflow bottle indeed leaks. So when the pressure builds up too much, it leaks out the side, and when you tilt it over, it leaks out. It is not making a good seal. So overflow bottle is shot. We're gonna need a new one of those. And now it's making me question if it actually even is the lower rad hose, to be honest with you. What we can do is clean up all the drips. I'm gonna still loosen the lower rad hose, try and slide it on a bit more. And then we're gonna, like I say, clean up all the drips and we're gonna fire it up, and I'm basically just gonna lay under it and freaking watch what the hell happens, because it does kind of make a little more sense that it could be the overflow. Maybe I overfilled the coolant just a tad. It started to puke out or build up a little bit too much pressure and start leaking out the overflow, because when you tilt an overflow bottle upside down, like that should 100% seal and hold coolant. Obviously it's the overflow bottle, right? So I'm wondering, because that it sits right above the lower rad hose. So this whole time speculation about the lower rad hose, I'm actually thinking it's probably the overflow bottle now build up a little bit too pressure and it starts weeping out of there, which makes sense. Another thing, all of these bolts for the splash tray are completely screwed and cross-threaded. So I'm gonna have to try and look at that, it's just mushroomed. I'm gonna have to try and like tap these holes before we get the splash tray back on. I don't think this splash tray does a whole lot of much, and we just daily the car, we don't do anything crazy with it. So I think I might even just like leave the splash tray off for now, or try and fasten it with just a few nuts that I know actually work and hold it. Well, this is getting a little frustrating. Civic behind me, I mean, it has pretty much the same overflow bottle that this does, and I just pulled it out and held it upside down. and it too leaks out the cap, but we never have any spills underneath the Civic, and the Civic does not have a splash tray or anything of the sort. So I guess we're back to the goddamn lower rad hose. Like, I just... oh God. All right, guys, well, we're under here. I'm just loosening this hose clamp, albeit it actually wasn't as tight as I initially thought it was. Didn't take like any effort at all to start to back it off. So I'm gonna try and slide it on better, and we'll see if that fixes anything. It's just really hard to get in there and actually slide this hose on because there's just so much shit in the way, but here we are. It's really hard to get in here. Now it's just dripping consistently. I just can't get this hose on any better. I really can't. Well, I guess we'll fire it up and see if it leaks. All right, so update. I have got the lower hose slid onto the outlet of the radiator a hair more, about as much as I can get it. I'm not kidding you guys. There is quite literally no room to get my hand in there. And then if you look from underneath, there's that cross member and stuff there. So to be able to slide that hose on is a bit of a chore, but I think that's what it is, considering that this is not supposed to be 100% sealed. The Civics does the same thing. I think that's okay. I'm gonna go ahead and clean up any residual coolant that I see anywhere right now, and then we're gonna go ahead, fire this sucker up, and just see. All right, let's go fire this thing up. Right. Let's crawl under here. And I guess we'll have to wait till it warms up and the thermostat opens to really see if that lower hose is going to do anything. But got the cap off because a lot of coolant did come out. So we're probably gonna have to do a bit of a bleed, but yeah, we'll see what happens really. Oh boys, I just got the scare of a lifetime. So I'm under the car and it's dripping like mad. I'm like, oh hell no. But it's just because it was re-bleeding and spat out a big bubble and now it's like overflowing. So thank God. I'm gonna let this thing get to operating temp, bleed off as much as it can. Once I'm confident this lower hose is hot and the thermostat's open and the heat gauge is all the way up, I'm gonna go ahead, cap it off so it stops dripping, continue to let it run. It's still bubbling. I mean, it's obvious it would need another bleed because we loosened the lower hose and we were squeezing it trying to put it on, so a bunch of fluid came out. I mean, it obviously needs a bleed, bubbling like crazy. So that's good. Like I say, I'm gonna let this thing go, cap it off. We're gonna clean up all the drips from it overflowing out the top of the rad, and then we'll report back with the lower hose. So far, the lower hose is hanging on. We're gonna find out though, all right? So as we can see, it's kind of stopped. Squeeze these. There is some pressure. The cap's not on, so it's not gonna be fully pressurized. If I crawl under here with you boys, we can see no leaks from the lower hose as of right now. Heater's hot and heat gauge is where it should be. If I give it a couple revs. It's all good, goes back down to level. So I think I'm gonna put the cap back on and away we go here. So let's grab this, stick it on there. All right, now we got to clean up some of these drips. Fans haven't turned on quite yet, but we're gonna leave the cap on and see if they turn on. Both hoses are really hot. Thermostat housing's really hot. So there is some coolant in there, but I wouldn't hate to add a little bit more. So basically I'm just gonna go ahead, top that up, let it run with the cap on, let the hoses actually pressurize. And then we're just gonna keep an eye on the lower hose. If all is good, take it for a drive, come back, and reevaluate. And while we wait, I think I got the proper sized hub rings, 73.1 to 64.1. But if we place them in here, they like sort of kind of want to go in, but they don't, meaning our surface is dirty. So let's clean it out. Does it fit? It wants to. It wants to, but it needs a little more love. Good freaking enough, baby. Let's go. Now I gotta clean the rest of them. I'm gonna go ahead and put some of these wheels on while the car's running and doing its thing. Everything looks good down there. So let's sit. Let's grab our 19. Let's chuck her on there. All right. We're not going to be reusing these lugs, which is good because they are tired. All right, let's see if it fits. Yeah, these winters are crusty, dusty, dry rotted, not a whole lot of life. I already cleaned this hub up, so in theory this should slip right over. This is the one with the ring I just put on. So let's test. Like a glove, kinda. Let's just see here. Yeah, no, that sits over it real nice. So just like we did with the wheel, we're just gonna clean this up a hair. Just the edges and whatnot, of course. Clean mating surface for the new kit to go on. There we go. That looks pretty good to me.
2,000 years later.
Update, doesn't look like these wheels are going on today. I have been fighting for the last half an hour to get this damn lock nut out of that key. It's stuck. And anytime I thread one on tight, it just gets stuck. So I clearly need a different key to put these on. It's just like everything I try to do to put these wheels on the car is just like, no, I don't want it. So, fuck it. Maybe we'll just keep them as the Civic spares. They got good tires anyways, right? Good burnout tires. I don't know. Unbelievable. We did it, baby. Key is on, but those aren't going on because I need a proper size key for these nuts. I'm just glad I got this key back at least. No more leaks from what I can tell. I'm gonna take this thing around the block and I'll get back to you guys if it actually did anything. Back for day 2 on the Accord, and I'm happy we made it here. Cause, well, watch this. I'm happy to report no more leaks after we fixed that, but why don't you check out this? And yes, the battery is charged. Right now, if you put a multimeter on, it's at about 12.5. And when it does fire up, the alternator does work because it jumps up to like 14.2, 14.5. Don't know why this has been happening. We took it to work all week again. Everything was good. Then one day it just wouldn't start up. I've checked the main relay. It clicks. We've checked the underhood main 80 amp and it's good to go. All the other fuses and everything seem good to go. So I think it is due to very corroded battery terminals. So I'm going to try my best to take those off today and clean them up. I don't know what else to do. I literally just drove here, opened the shop to pull it in, and now it won't start. There's no power to anything. I don't know how well you guys can see in there, but it's quite freaking corroded. This side isn't so bad. And the power wire is a little bit loose. Same with this one. So I'm gonna try and take this terminal off, clean it up best I can, put it back on, kind of scuff this up with a little bit of sandpaper and whatnot, and away we go. But I assure you, this battery is charged and that alternator does work. So let's try and clean these. Terminals are off. Let's go ahead, scrape up the battery posts. This one as well, the ground wire. Clean all that up, and now it's time to actually take this terminal off these two power wires, clean all of this up, and hope for the best. And this is exactly what I was talking about. Look at that. Time to clean it up and clean this up, sand it all down. All right, I might be onto something. I still haven't tested it, but this is the terminal that the power wire came off of. Old, tired, clapped out, decrepit. The passenger side is not that bad. I mean, sorry, the ground side, the passenger side. So I robbed our fresh terminals off the Civic, got both of them just in case, but the ground side on the Accord is good. The power side was the bad one. So I left this. Ground is all snug. Ground is all snug. Don't know why there's two. Bought the car like that. Then I got one of the Civic's terminals on here. Everything's fastened up. Nothing's coming out. Let's see if the freaking car starts. Grab our key. Grab our key. Come on. Give me good news. Nothing. Nothing. No way. I seriously don't know what to do with this car.
2,000 years later.
Yeah, I heard the fuel pump. It's working now, guys. Fire it up.
We're giving it a quick flip. Ready?
Yeah. What the f is going on? So guys, I put the new battery terminal on and the two posts on the battery were reading 12.5. The two terminals for ground and power were only reading 10.5. I wiggled the power post around and it read 12.5. But that's two different terminals. One's off the Civic that I know that work, and the OG one's off the Accord that did work for the last 4 years. So what the hell? Is it the actual battery? It is 2017, so it's getting old. I do fear it might be the battery post itself, but part of me still thinks it's the terminal because the posts always read 12.5. It's the terminal that gets jostled around and doesn't read it. But I just took both the wires off the terminals, wire brushed the shit out of them, cleaned them up as best as I could to get all the acid off, stuck a brand new terminal on, tightened it down. They don't wiggle, they don't move at all. But where is the weak connection coming from at some points? I hate electrical. Another thing I want to touch on, if you guys heard when it did fire up that crazy ear-piercingly loud belt squeak, I can only assume it's the alternator or power steering because we fired this thing up about 18 billion times with both of those connected after we did the new timing and balance shaft belt. So I'm going to go ahead and loosen the power steering, start it if it still squeals, tighten it back up a few twists, and then do the same on the alternator until hopefully this damn squealing is gone. But our issue with the power definitely lies with the battery posts and the wire terminals. When they're clocked the wrong way, terminals only read 10.5. I don't know what the hell is going on. You twist them a bit, they read 12. Super weird, super sketch, especially because I just replaced the problem one, the power side, with the Civic's terminals, which are in literally perfect condition. They're brand new. So, baffled low-key. All right, guys, it's a little windy out here. I'm hoping that you can hear me, but Accord is good to go. That battery terminal just reads 10 volts, sometimes 12 volts. We got it in the right position. It started like 87 times while I was testing the belts to get rid of the squeal. But let's jump in this thing. What a nightmare. After all that work, we have some freak phantom battery terminal causing us no power, but let's check it out. Notice two things. First, lights come on and everything beeps, okay? Second, when I fire this thing up, there should be no squeaks. You know what I'm saying? Anyways, guys, until next time, comment, like, subscribe. I hope to see you in that next video. I really hope you enjoyed last week's video. We took the Civic out. Eli was back on the channel and he absolutely loved the turbo Honda life. We have big things coming for the future, so don't be alarmed if there is a little bit of a delay in uploads. I'm focused up on shorts right now to kind of tide us over, but like I said at the beginning of this year, we have tons of things coming up. Big changes, different cars, different vibes. Just wait, stick around, and find out. But till next time, boys, peace out.